What did you think?
It was amazing. Like the title implies, you feel all of these different types of emotions everywhere at once.
I'm a solar gypsy.
You're listening to the MCSFO podcast, where we speak one language, sci-fi.
I'm a solar gypsy.
We just came out of seeing Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I just want to get you guys' thoughts on the most awesome, in my opinion, most awesome, bizarre, but I don't know if everybody's going to like it kind of movie. What do you think?
I mean, I thought the movie was great. There was a field trip.
Did you think you were high most of the time or no?
Yeah, for a good chunk of it, and then it started all making sense, you know? But yeah, like, it's a field trip. Like, even, like, the smallest details of, like, when it's, like, intense, like, Hong Kong, like, action scenes, like, how it would letterbox and then, like, the filter would change and everything. Like, it was just, wow. It was, yeah.
Love it, especially with the take of, approaching nihilism, but with hope and optimism, which is not something I really see, because it's easy to diminish it to just being meaningless. Why care? But this gives you a reason, an earnest reason to actually invest, even though it might not amount to anything, and that's so hopeful.
If you don't mind if I ask you what you didn't like, I'm just curious because I like to get different reactions on the film.
Sure.
So what part didn't work for you?
Well, like the butt plug fight, the butt plug cry.
Silly?
Yeah, well, it went on for 3 minutes and it only needed to go on for 30 seconds. And there were just a lot of places where I felt like, okay, can we move along?
Yeah,
can we
it was
move
over
along?
the top. Okay.
But it's there's so much about it that's incredibly creative that you have to admire what they were trying to do, and it has so much heart. To make a movie like that, all the multiverse and kung fu and all the craziness, but have it really be about husbands and wives and mothers and daughters.
Relationships.
That takes courage and creativity, and in that regard, it's brilliant. But like I said, 85% of it works, 15% doesn't. You have to get through the 15% to get to the brilliant other 85, which is fine. I mean, we should all, God knows we need more movies like this.
It's a lot to take in. However, it is one of my favorite movies thus far this year.
Yeah.
But it is a lot.
Is it worth a second view?
Definitely. Maybe a second viewing with one's mother. If possible.
Yeah. I think it takes somebody, a real thespian, someone like her, to kind of have all these personalities. I mean, you got to be really into your craft to constantly switch gears the way she was. I mean, it was almost like she had to be high herself just to do this role. Like, I don't know if she was on, like, speed or, you know what I mean? Like, you're just, and I was also thinking about how did they cut everything? I mean, everything was spliced up beautifully. But that seemed like that would have been a nightmare to shoot in sense of, like, the costume changes was crazy. Like, that really, the background changes, like, I don't know how long it took them to shoot this entire film because there was either makeup, every little detail I took in, I knew it took a lot of time just to set up that one scene that we're going to see for a second or two. They had to set all that up. That's what was really impressive to me from a director's standpoint.
Especially with like the framing of the shots, I really love how it acts as like a love story to Michelle's career, especially with the martial arts variant, because they even show like archive photo of her different premieres and stuff. And I just love it as a, one, just showcasing her in these mini roles, but also paying homage to the actual roles, because there were like a lot of film references I wouldn't necessarily get, but like if I brought my mom, she'd just be like, did you see that? Did you see that? So definitely, again, I'd be excited to take her and rewatch this with her.
Yeah, it had a lot of Matrix feel in it too. I totally felt a lot of the Matrix in it. And it was meant to, kind of remind you of that, or just the trippiness of it. But it was bizarre, but I loved it. I love bizarre, I love weird, and they did a great job with it. So I don't think they don't need to do a sequel. I could probably watch this 3 or 4. It's so rewatchable, and you're gonna get something different every time you watch it. That I'm good. My brain is full. My heart is full. It was very filling. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
This concludes our show for today, but if this is your first time visiting, then welcome aboard. The Multicultural Sci-Fi Organization, or MCSFO for short, markets, promotes, discusses, and educates in the medium of science fiction and technology with a unique focus from an international perspective. We promote diversity and inclusion in the sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book genres. We would love to hear what you guys think about today's topic, or if you just want to chime in, you can post your comments below. Please remember to follow and share this podcast on your social media pages.